Welcome back to G&D Bricks. Today we're going to go over building a Lego city and the plans and how I've gone about it. And it's been about 1 year since we started, and we'll get right to it. In this video, I'm going to go over 4 basic plans that I've done that's helped me be successful over about the first year of building the Lego city. The first one is plan. The second one is to be adaptable. Third one is to do strategic expansion. And then the last and probably the most important part is funding. So starting with the first point of planning, at the beginning I had a plan of what I wanted to do. I wanted to have a city, and seeing different videos, a lot of people have big cities and they love doing all the modulars. I do like them, but the cities inevitably get full, and then you're like, well, where do you go from there? And you go build up. Well, I wanted to start with skyscrapers. There's going to be a few buildings, obviously, that are not skyscrapers, but for the most part, wanted to stick with skyscrapers. You can see that in the city as we're up to 4 as of this video, and the 5th one should be out soon. And so that was the first step, is planning it all out and figuring out what I wanted the city to look like, maybe a grid, how big it's going to be. So first thing I did was went and built the table for the city, and then the next step for that was figuring out which set to get first. And I started designing the 2 mocks, the Sluky building and the white Miami building. But I did not build those first. The first set I did was the police station. I thought it was good to start with the actual Lego set before I built one of my own. Next thing that I think is key is to be adaptable. I thought I knew exactly what I wanted to do right out the gate and as I went along, but plans have changed rapidly since I started, and that's been a good thing. Like, for example, had a big marketplace come up recently, and it was a great deal, and that kind of pivoted how I wanted to go. And new ideas come up for how to build and what to build and what different types of buildings I want to include. So being adaptable and being able to move with the plans is key, while still keeping that long-term outlook and reach. The third point I'd like to look at is strategic expansion. This has been great for me and for the success I've had so far in the first about year. And with strategic expansion, what I mean is when you build a building and you're putting streets in your city, it may not make sense to build a building and then put the roads out, because you're buying the road parts 50 at a time instead of buying in bulk 1,000 at a time. So now every time you buy a building, for me, I have the custom streets, and every time I buy a building, I don't want to have to do a separate bricklink order for roads. So I did a huge road order, and I completed like 6 or 7 road plates at once. So for a while, there was no roads in the city, and then completed 6 or 7. And that's going to be true as I move forward. One of my next orders I'm going to do a big order, and I'm going to do all the landscaping down the middle, down the medians for all of the roads, as well as a big order to do all the sidewalks and various little details in front of all the buildings throughout the city. And this saves a whole lot of money on shipping and really helps the efficiency moving forward. So I'm going to continue to do that, and I think that is a huge point and a huge, you cannot overlook it. And the last part is funding. Obviously, this is very expensive, and ways that I've kind of saved on this is there's a couple of the Temu buildings that I've used, and I'm not afraid to not use Lego. I'm fine with using the off-brands. One of the buildings I got was great, the hospital. The other one, the church, not so much. And with that, I like to have a dedicated funding source. And I've only used overtime. When I work overtime at work, I can use that for funding. So if I want to get something, I need to go work a little extra. And also, Marketplace is your best friend. Check out my Marketplace, scour it, find deals. I found a few that way, and it really helps. And it'll kind of change your trajectory, which leads you into the being able to be adaptable and the strategic expansion. I think it all kind of goes together and helps create a good city. I hope for anyone just starting out can follow this. It's been great for me, and hope it can work for you. Thanks.